When we desire to connect deeper with all parts of the self, we have a beautiful opportunity to explore inner realities in a new way. Parts of self are experiencing life through the navigational structures of body-mind miracles. And so if we want to connect with all parts of the self, we must explore the energetic essence of who that self truly is and the navigational structures in brain-body wiring that support that essence of self. Self-essence is flowing through those navigational structures, flowing through that brain-body wiring. And when we embark upon this inner journey with unconditional love, it expands the opportunities we have to resculpt brain-body wiring and actually influence those navigational structures and connect deeper with all parts of the self, reunify self-aspects, and expand this inner wholeness with all parts of self. The first step here is to acknowledge how complex brain-body wiring actually is. If we are trying to approach it assuming that it's a very simple structure that's easy to understand, then we might miss opportunities to actually get to know all parts of ourselves. And so first, we just want to acknowledge the vast complexities of body-mind miracles, and how intricate and wondrous these navigational structures actually are. From there, we can explore each of the primal structures independently and then how they're all connecting and interacting with each other. Once we've explored all the brain-body systems of navigation, we can then explore the energetic essence of self as pure consciousness, divine soul, self-essence. And then we can explore how that self-essence is flowing through the interaction of all of those different brain-body structures. So let's start at the very beginning. All of these miracles came into existence, all the miracles of self, all the miracles of brain-body wiring, all the miracles of body-mind navigation, all began during early life with attachment development. And the process of attachment development, where experiences of love created a felt sense of fulfillment for specific internal needs, actually ignited the development of the brain and the body. The brain hemispheres, the brain regions, the nervous systems, different systems and structures and connections and data, it all grew through a process of attachment development. And so we can first start to explore parts of the self by exploring the journey of attachment development and its relation with neurodevelopment. Then we explore brain hemispheres, left, right brain hemispheres, and the energetic characteristics, personality traits, properties that they carry. And now assume that there are parts of self for every year of life during attachment development and parts of self for every characteristic of the brain hemispheres. And this is an introductory way to explore parts of the self. And so just take a moment and connect with self-aspects from each year of life during neurodevelopment, especially ages 2 through 12. And you can just briefly Google personality traits of left-right brain hemispheres and just look at a few of the characteristics and just connect with the parts of self who are related with those characteristics, strengths, attributes, and properties. And it's important to look at the neuroscience of left-right brain hemispheres, not just the psychology. Psychology of left-right brain hemispheres gets very overgeneralized and not in complete attunement with the deeper truths of the neuroscience of left-right brain hemispheres. So if you do check out those characteristics of left-right brain hemispheres, make sure you're looking at the neuroscience of them, not just the psychology. Then there's the triune brain, the midbrain, forebrain, and hindbrain. And you can kind of think of the forebrain as that active sense of awareness, that conscious intentionality. The midbrain as the limbic system of the emotional center, and the hindbrain as the connection to the body and its regulatory states. And imagine that there are infinite parts of self flowing through each of those brain regions and the connections between them. Then we look at the nervous system, and there's a lot of different details to this, but we can just simplify it by saying the nervous system in relation with social engagement and disengagement roles. And this concept stems from the polyvagal theory, focusing on the autonomic nervous system, but it also affects all other regulatory states and all structures of navigation throughout trillions of neural networks. For example, social disengagement roles include stress responses, from attach stress response, flight, fight, freeze, fold, and dissociative blackout stress responses. Those are social disengagement roles. Social engagement roles include all the other stuff we do in everyday life that comes from a regulated state of nervous system activity. And this includes when you're feeling cuddly and cozy and emotionally intimate and relaxed and snuggly and warm and happy inside, and when you're feeling calm and relaxed and chill and at ease, and when you're feeling energized and like, let's go, like I'm gonna go work out and I'm gonna be loud, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna be active, and all the stuff that we do and all the ways that we engage with ourselves and other people and life experience from a state of regulation. And there's all these different roles, including emotional well-being, physical well-being, rest and restitution, etc. In the work that I offer, we explore nervous system regulation along a scale of 1 to 15. From low energy dysregulation, low energy regulation, middle ground regulation, high energy regulation, and high energy dysregulation. And we explore how those different regulatory states from the nervous system in relation with social engagement and disengagement are actually connected with different navigational centers or different regions of memory data that have the purpose of navigating self and life in distinct ways. And imagine that there are infinite parts of the self correlated with each state of nervous system activity and each role of navigating social engagement or disengagement. Different parts of the self flow through the nervous system at different energy levels and experience their sense of self and translations of life in distinct ways. And so the parts of self who are in that high energy regulation might be more inclined to go exercise and do something energetically, while parts of self in a lower energy regulation might just want to cuddle and have some yummy snacks. And so we explore parts of self by exploring the nervous system in relation with social engagement. Again, concepts stemming from the polyvagal theory and exploring all different regulatory states stemming from that hindbrain autonomic activity in direct correlation with the engagement of social regulation. Okay, so far we're exploring parts of the self from attachment development and those original experiences of the early years of life from every year of life. We're exploring parts of the self in the left and right brain hemispheres and the midbrain, forebrain, hindbrain, where these different brain regions have different energetic properties, characteristics, attributes, personality traits, strengths, etc. And there are different parts of the self who are experiencing life through those brain body structures and that navigational data. And then there's parts of the self who are related with different states of nervous system activity and how that regulation can also affect navigation beyond awareness, deep in subconscious realms or the body-mind. Then we look at parts of self correlated with different navigational patterns in unconscious memories. Different navigational patterns in unconscious memories. And so for every pattern of emotion, for every pattern of movement, for every pattern of feeling, for every pattern of choice, for every pattern of response, for every pattern of a learned motor skill, okay, etc., all these different navigational patterns in Bodymind Miracles are supporting aspects of self. And the parts of self are infinite and limitless, just like the trillions of navigational networks in the brain and the body that support the parts of self. And so there's like so many different parts of you, so many different parts of me, so many different parts of self in every beautiful living being. And The intention is to connect deeper with all parts of self and improve and expand the information in the navigational structures of the body-mind, and improve and expand how all that information and all those parts of self are connecting in everyday moments. And from that space, working with parts of self allows us to transform any challenge that might be arising. If there's a mental health challenge, an emotional health challenge, a habit you can't change, a pattern of thinking, feeling, moving, choosing, or responding you want to shift to just improve your quality of life. If there's an aspect in the way you connect with yourself or associate with yourself or express yourself or experience yourself or embody your own energetic essence, if there's a certain thing that comes up when you're communicating with yourself or with others, all of this can be shifted, improved, transformed, expanded, elevated, uplifted by connecting with the parts of self who are flowing through the navigational structures and brain-body wiring that are kind of behind all of those experiences, or beneath all of those experiences, or preceding all those experiences. And by working deep with these navigational networks and aspects of self, we can transform the foundation of what's causing that. And so instead of being like, okay, there's this pattern of thinking and I just really need to think better thoughts, we can be like, okay, that's actually a projection of navigation. We want to go deep into the foundation of where that is coming from and connect with parts of self who are in that data beyond awareness. There's parts of self who experience the brain-body activity before the thought is projected into awareness. And from there, we can expand and improve and elevate our sense of self, our inner realities, and the quality of everyday life experience through unconditional love and pure magic. So a lot of power, a lot of potential, a lot of glorious wonder in working with all these aspects of self. And we can do this most effectively by exploring neuroscience and consciousness with unconditional love. So, attachment development, left, right brain hemispheres, midbrain, forebrain, hindbrain, triune brain, nervous system in relation with social engagement. Now, patterns of feeling and movement in unconscious memories. There's patterns of feeling and movement in unconscious memories. And the unconscious memories are basically the most fascinating topic to ever exist in the human species in all of eternity. So that's really fun. But like really, unconscious memories are fascinating. They're so fascinating. And when we explore them, we can really understand parts of self in a profound way. The body-mind is gathering information in nanoseconds and is gathering different information than the conscious mind is focused on, and is gathering a lot more information a lot faster than the conscious mind can imagine. And there are parts of self who are within the process of that activity, and there are parts of self within the results of that activity. They're flowing through that data once it's been collected and stored and everything. And so by exploring patterns of feeling and movement in the navigational structures of unconscious memories, we can have an opportunity to connect deeper with parts of self while understanding our experience and having more power to shapeshift anything we desire and to improve, elevate, and expand anything we desire as well. Patterns of feeling and movement ideally feel like peace, joy, freedom, and love, and support our health and well-being in every area of life, where our natural choice tendencies come straight from our soul essence and support health and well-being and optimal expression and existence and thrival and expansion and joy and contentment and gratitude and connection and everything, but from a place of soul essence, something that goes beyond the unconscious patterns gathered from past experiences. And so again, we have this chance to connect deeper with parts of self and shapeshift anything we desire. With unconscious memories, we're also looking at all of the libraries of them. There are patterns of feeling and movement that might become activated, but there's also libraries that exist beyond awareness, data from every year of life in relation with a variety of different types and styles of experiences, needs, desires, different aspects of your sense of self, etc. So there's 5 components of neuroscience we explore And there are parts of self flowing through each of those details of brain-body wiring. And by exploring each of those components individually, we can start to connect with parts of self in a new way. And then later we explore how those different systems are interacting with each other. But first we explore them individually and connect with the parts of self who are within each of them. Then we look at 5 details of body-mind navigation, okay? So imagine that trillions of navigational networks flowing throughout the brain and the body and creating the navigation of the mind in the body beyond awareness are including explicit and implicit pieces of information, which includes conscious and unconscious memories, data in the front of the brain and the back of the brain, data in the brain and data in the body, data in the left and right brain hemispheres, etc., explicit and implicit pieces of information, and data from every year of life. So there's navigational data from when you were 2 years old. There's navigational data from when you were 3 years old. There's navigational data from age 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, until your present day self. There's data from every year of life. And there's navigational data in trillions of complex networks that carry different navigational roles and priorities. So this region of data says, I'm going to navigate this priority of life. And this region of data says, I'm going to navigate this role in my sense of self. And I'm going to navigate this role in my experience. And I'm going to navigate life from this place of prioritizing these things. And so there's different regions that have different navigational roles and priorities. And then there's all this data about how you associate with yourself, how you associate with your body, how you associate with your face, how you associate with the sound of your voice, how you associate with your sense of self, your personal identity, the way you perceive yourself, how you associate with your sense of self-worth or self-esteem and self-respect and self-honor, how you associate with different parts of your body, all these different styles of self-associations. And then how you associate with that self in relation with everything else. How you associate with yourself in relation to these other people. How you associate with yourself in relation to these other experiences. And then there's also data about how you associate with all the elements of experience. How you associate with everything you see. How you associate with everything you feel. How you associate with everything you hear, smell, taste, touch, sense. How you associate with different seasons of the year. How you associate with different places. How you associate with different sensations and stimulus and music and movies and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's like a lot of data and like trillions of networks from every year of life with explicit, implicit pieces and different roles and priorities and different ways of associating with yourself and everything else and how they relate. And whew, that's a lot. Okay, now imagine that there are parts of self for every single piece of that information. Every single piece. Every single song you've ever heard in your life that's stored in your body-mind, there's a part of the self who is connected with that information. Everything you've ever learned, everything you've ever smelled, every flower you've ever smelled, everything you've ever seen, every place you've ever been, every person you've ever met, there's parts of the self flowing through that body-mind data. Flowing through that body-mind data, not flowing through those details of external experience, but right here, right now, inside of the brain and the body, flowing through the information of navigational patterns, projections, and potentials. That distinction is important because the details of external things, they can just be there, but what we want to actually explore is the content connectivity of the navigational networks that are affecting how these parts of self are experiencing life within and beyond awareness, okay? So now we've looked at all the different parts of self through all the different brain-body structures. Not all of them, but the ones that really matter when it comes to understanding navigation of self inner realities and life experience. Then we explore consciousness. We explore who or what is consciousness, what is the identity of consciousness, who are parts of the self, how are parts of the self experiencing who they are, masculine, feminine energies of divine consciousness, the navigation of infinite energy through infinite awareness within specificity of the human experience, and inner and outer realities bridged through mind, body, and spirit. And there are parts of the self who are related with all those different characteristics and energies of consciousness, those different components of the self. And then we explore how that self-essence is flowing through those brain-body structures. And then we explore how all those details, the 5 components of neuroscience, 5 components of body-mind navigation, and 5 components of consciousness are relating with each other, interacting with each other, overlapping with each other, interplaying with each other, and how that is affecting life for all parts of the self, again, beyond awareness. The sense of self, the inner realities, and the translations and navigation of everyday life experience. And there are parts of the self flowing through all of it. And so then we explore those parts of the self through that understanding of neuroscience and consciousness from a place of unconditional love. And then we explore how all of it's interconnecting. Mind, body, spirit, inner, outer realities, masculine, feminine energies, navigating energy, navigating the perception, reception, sustainment, and extension of energy. Who or what is consciousness? Energetic traits of the self as love, being love, light, miracles, being love's witness, love's power, love's champion, love's abundance, love's presence, love's bliss, love's joy, love's embodiment, and how those parts of self are flowing through left, right brain hemispheres, midbrain, forebrain, hindbrain, unconscious memories with patterns of feeling and movement, nervous system activity in relation with social engagement, which all began with attachment development. And then we dive deeper and look at the bridge throughout all of it, the attachment needs that bridge that brain-body wiring, and the attachment structures that unite all aspects of self. And as we're exploring parts of the self, it's so important to not leave any part out. If we don't understand the details of how all these structures are operating and interacting with each other, we'll miss out on parts of our own self. We'll miss out on the opportunity to understand our own being. We'll miss out on the opportunity to celebrate the miracles of existence. We'll miss out on the opportunity to deeply transform any inner challenge we face. We'll miss the opportunity to really know all that we are. We'll miss the opportunity to celebrate the miracles of our existence and to connect deeper with our own authentic being and to feel more wholeness from within because we're connected with all parts of ourselves and unified throughout the totality of soul essence expressed in its most authentic form, consciously influencing brain-body wiring, consciously, intentionally resculpting the body-mind miracles so that the navigation comes from the authentic soul essence and not just from unconscious patterns created during past experiences. And so I invite you to turn inward and connect with all parts of yourself. And knowing all the complexities of your own inner being, to hold space for that, to hold space for yourself, to hold space for the miracles within you, and to ask all parts of you, are there any parts I've never met before? Are there any parts of me who haven't felt seen and honored for who they really are? Are there any parts of the self who feel like I haven't really been there for them because I didn't really understand how to be? Are there any parts of the self who feel left out maybe? Are there any parts of the self who aren't feeling totally loved for who they are right here, right now, inside of my own being? Are there any parts of the self flowing through navigational structures that could use some rewiring and loving liberation? Are there any parts of the self who I've never met because I didn't understand the truth of their essence or how that essence was being affected by brain-body wiring? And to just hold space to listen inside of your own being, because you might be surprised at what you find. You might be surprised by what you hear. You might be surprised by what you sense. You might be surprised by what comes up. And you might be surprised by all the miracles that can happen when you embrace the opportunity to dive this deep within your inner being. If these miracles speak to you, I invite you to explore offerings through my trifecta treasure trove, a way to invest in your own healing, nourishment, conscious expansion, and loving liberation, to explore parts of yourself through everything I just described, but in the absolute simplest, easiest, most fun, playful, and enjoyable way imaginable, through treasure maps and play prompts. Treasure trove tete-a-tetes, body, mind, soul, self treasure mapping, and personalized play prompt prescriptions. Exploring these concepts, applying them to connect deeper with parts of self and nourish body-mind miracles of navigation and brain-body regulation to shapeshift anything that needs to be transformed, and to improve and expand your sense of self, inner realities, and quality of life from the inside out. There are a variety of self-guided journeys, beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels, whether you are wishing to simply explore these concepts in an abstract way, or to have personal practices that actually apply their insights to create tangible transformation in your personal experience. I also offer single Sacred Soul sessions, one-time sessions with me, anywhere from a 30-minute to 2-hour video call, and each session does include a complimentary playbook, so you have some tangible, written, hands-on content to support you before, during, and after our time together. If you want to dive into the deepest, glorious wonders, I do have spaces available in my multi-month journey, Reborn as Infinite Love, a one-on-one, intimately personalized container that includes everything I just described, a variety of self-guided journeys and all the different angles of single Sacred Soul sessions with all of the playbooks. And Reborn as Infinite Love is a 3 or 6 month journey one-on-one with me that includes weekly video sessions and a variety of those self-guided journeys. And through our sessions, we discuss these concepts so that you can understand them. We apply these concepts and you can treasure map the insights of their application in specific personal experiences. And there's personalized play prompt prescriptions. So every week you're learning a new practice that you can use in your everyday moments to apply these insights and explore, understand, shift, transform, improve, and expand all components of your inner realities to connect deeper with all parts of self and have that inner sense of wholeness, unity, and expansion from within your being. The self-guided journeys include a variety of amazing magical wonder that can allow you to explore these concepts through written text and colorful diagrams, and to have amazing transformative practices to use in everyday moments to shapeshift and heal literally any disruption of navigation, literally anything. Like, I personally use these concepts to heal literally every mental health diagnosis in the book, like literally. Literally every single one, like, oh, that was really easy to transform. Now that I understand the brain body wiring and parts of self that were beyond that, that was so easy to shift. Like, wow, those like crippling, completely disabling challenges that hundreds of people were like, oh, I'm sorry, you're just beyond help and you're going to be living with this the rest of your life. Like, I healed all of that in a matter of months through this simple, fun, easy journey, because now I understand the brain body wiring that was creating it, and I was able to connect with parts of myself to have an inner team to support that journey of transformation. So the self-guided journeys have a lot of different angles of magic, and you can explore the concepts, the modalities, the liberated consciousness diagram, the expanded spirit diagram, and the summarized text of like, okay, like this is how you explore these diagrams, this is what it means, this is how you apply it, colorful, fun, treasure mapping images. But then there's also tangible practices. And okay, if I do this practice every day, it's going to start to heal me. If I do this practice every day, it's going to start to reunify all parts of me. If I do this practice every day, it's going to start to shapeshift this challenge. If I do this practice every day, it's going to improve and expand my quality of life. If I do this practice every day, it's going to improve and expand how I connect with all parts of myself and how I experience my own sense of self. So I invite you to explore my introductory playbooks and my web pages to find out more information. And you can order a self-guided journey, schedule a single session, or inquire about a multi-month personalized pathway through Reborn as Infinite Love by sending me an email at heavenonearthfromwithin@gmail.com. I would be absolutely honored to serve and support your journey of conscious expansion, healing, nourishment, and loving liberation, so that you can connect deeper with all aspects of who you truly are and have infinite power to influence brain-body miracles, so that the navigation of your own body-mind stems from the unconditional love and pure magic of your authentic soul self.